level 3, we can skip forward to here. So this is the fundamental aging processes. And these are basically 9 things, 9 categories with subcategories as well of aging processes that go on in your body. And normally they accumulate exponentially or so. So a lot of the risk from aging occurs when you age 70 or 80 plus. You don't have a risk of dying from an age-related disease when you're 20, because the risk is very low. So it's like a straight line, and then suddenly it jumps up like this once you get past age 60, and that's when all these 9 things on the slide, they also start. A lot of them start accumulating exponentially like that as well. So as soon as you have a little bit, then it leads to faster growth of it having even more of these pathologies in your body. So the rationale here is that you have to address all of these, all 9 categories and as many subcategories within them as well, to start reversing the fundamental aging process. And what's interesting is that in each organ, you may age at a different rate. So there's about 78 organs in the body, and some of them may have very little of this pathology of these 9 pathologies. Some may have a lot of all of them, and then some may have more of category 7 rather than category 4, just because the way you're aging personally. So it's quite a personal, everyone's more similar than different, but there's also quite a bit of personalized aging in your organs. So you take one 80, 90 or 100-year-old person, and then you look at all 78 of their organs, and then you look at another person, and you may find that the biological age of this person's heart is 95. It's really bad. And this other person who's been cycling their whole life, maybe it's about 60. So there could be huge differences within organs.
So really, to
define how you manage them,
to sort of figure out someone's biological age, you really need to know the age of each individual organ.
Yep.
To get a true depiction of sort of what state of health that they're in.
Yeah, and it's quite complex to measure specific biological ages. So for the heart, like we we're just saying, for example, you'd want to use a combination. So ideally for any organ, you use a combination of biofluid, device, and imaging tests. So to measure someone's biological age of the heart, biofluids you want to do would be stuff like BNP and high sensitivity troponin I or troponin T. That kind of increase with age quite strongly. Could do cholesterol as well, but that's more the arteries than the heart itself, you see. Then imaging wise, you'd want to do an echocardiogram, and ideally an exercise echocardiogram, and you get so many markers from that. You could also do an MRI or functional MRI of the heart, and you could do CTA, where you look at the how much plaque is in the coronary arteries. But again, that's the arteries, not the heart. So you have to think about them as separate organs, because the arteries are throughout the whole body, and they will age in a similar way. But the heart itself ages differently compared to the arterial cells. And then device tests, of course, you could do ECG. And then you combine markers from all 3 of these to predict the biological age of someone's heart. And it may be that they're different parts of the heart. They're kind of you could argue the heart's multiple organs, because, in some ways, because there's just so many different cell types. But yeah, you could see that maybe someone's conduction system in the heart is older than someone else's, but their ventricles and muscular system is actually really good. So there's different parts within the heart that could be older or younger as well within the same person. My level 3 is based on this. So it's combining the frameworks of Aubrey de Grey and Maria Blasco and Lopez Otin. So there's 2 key papers basically that came out in from 2007 and 2013. So there's the SENS, the SENS 7 deadly things that build up in the body and cause aging, which is Aubrey with the beard at the bottom, his framework. And then there's a group of scientists that many which worked with Aubrey and then built on this idea as well, 6 years, and published it 6 years later, called The Hallmarks of Aging. And there's 9 things in there, but there's some redundancy between them, and some of them basically when you combine them, and you also add in stuff that the Hallmarks of Aging missed out, which is useful to include, like extracellular matrix stiffening, the scaffold between cells, damage in that area. You get these 9 things with lots of nice little subcategories that you can focus on in my level 3. So yeah, that covers all the levels.